Dr. Marie Fang. Welcome to my video series featuring quick tips and tools to help you be your best self today. Today we're going to be taking a look at this question: is all anxiety bad? At first glance, it may seem like all anxiety must be bad because if you've ever felt anxious, and you probably have if you're a human being, it's incredibly uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. So the natural inclination is to think, well, let's just get rid of anything that looks like anxiety because it's terrible. And that's kind of tempting and it might sound nice, but research shows anxiety really does have its place and it is incredibly helpful to us. So to get to know this concept a little bit better, I'm going to introduce this concept to you, and that's called the Yerkes-Dodson Law. I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, but it is this research phenomenon that looks at the relationship between anxiety and performance. And in particular, when we're talking about a task that has some amount of challenge to it, it's not just taking out the trash, doing the laundry, but something that we experience as at least moderately or more intensely difficult, that there is an interesting relationship between anxiety and performance that plots as a bell curve on an XY axis. So what that means is if we're presented with a challenging task, but we have absolutely no anxiety about it, maybe there's that test coming up and we're thinking, that test is not a big deal, I don't even care about the test. It doesn't matter if I get an F. Then you might be so unanxious that you're just like taking a nap. So you're not going to perform very well if you're asleep, right? But if you have some amount of anxiety tied to that exam, thinking, okay, well, this exam is worth 60% of my grade in this class, and my grade in this class has to do with this degree to get me to this career, and I need to do so well to get there, then this exam matters a lot to me. I'm worried because what if I don't do well and all of those things don't pan out? That anxiety might help you prepare a bit more for that exam. You're going to study, you're going to get yourself ready for it. When you're in the exam taking it, you're alert, you're paying attention, say, okay, let me make sure I get this right. That kind of anxiety really helps performance and things like that. But when anxiety gets out of hand, when there's too much anxiety for the situation that you're in, it ends up taking over and sort of derailing your performance on things. So an example could be, let's say you're dating because maybe someday you'd like to be married or have a committed partner, and you're on a first date with somebody. We could imagine someone who's so anxious about that first date because they're thinking, you know what, I want to be married so bad, like yesterday. And I've been on all these dates, it's not working out. I really want this person to be the one that I get to be with forever, and so let me make sure I get everything just right so that they like me. And so let's see, maybe the way that I sneeze though is something weird to them, and maybe they're still thinking about that even though that was 30 minutes ago, and so maybe I should adjust my hair to make it better. There's a lot of anxiety that we might argue is a bit mismatched for the situation, and it might not be helpful to you and your performance on that first date because you're so worried about what you're doing and self-conscious that you're not actually present and attending to that date. You're not really going to do a good job if we could measure it by performance. So it's helpful to sort of gauge our anxiety and see how well it matches the situation, because a lot of times we do tend to be overly anxious and sometimes underly anxious. I'm not sure that's a word. You know what I mean. About the scenario that we're in. We could imagine some scenarios where we could use a little bit more anxiety to get us going, get us motivated for certain things. I mean, think of, let's say, being buried in a pile of giant credit card debt. If you had no anxiety about that whatsoever and you thought, tens of thousands of dollars credit card debt, it'll just work itself out someday. I'll just keep spending. It's not a problem. It is a problem. So we want some amount of anxiety around that to say, oh, okay, I really should do something about this. I need to do something to get rid of this anxiety, so I'm going to make better choices with my money, for example. Well, I hope you found this quick tip helpful as you consider some places where you tend to feel anxious and sort of check in to see if your anxiety matches the situation. Enjoy practicing that, and I hope you like this video. Until next time, I'm Dr. Marie Fang, and I hope you have a great day.